RapDillz pills and exclusive. Come slide.
See, man, what's good? Welcome
What's
to the
good,
HQ.
bro? What's good, bro? Thanks for having me, Brody.
Yo,
Facts.
glad you came through, man. We've been locked in for years now, though, but it's just dope to really get you down and have a conversation and tell your story, your
Nah, that's a
success
fact.
story.
That's a
Every
fact.
glory has a story, right?
That's a super fact. Definitely been locked in for a minute.
For a minute.
For
we could get
years.
into that.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So, DOC, Doc on the Beat.
Yes, sir.
This wasn't something that even started 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You've been doing music for a long, long time, right? Like, is it true that your family, your father, and just your family and everybody is into music?
Yeah, like, I've been literally doing music for as long as I can remember. Like, I remember times, like, living in the city when I was, like, a kid. Probably, like, my son age, like, 2, 3, just watching my pops, like, cook up with his friends. Like, then we moved up here. He would have, like, people pulling up to the crib doing sessions and shit like that. So like I just used to be watching, just like, feel me, like that ass, or church, whatever. Like it was just, music was always around. That's a fact.
So your dad is a producer as well.
Yeah, word. He would like engineer, like he was more like, I can't even say that. Nah, he would produce and shit like that, and then he would be like more doing like the whole like background part of it, like I feel like he was more into like the business side of it, like, you know what I'm saying, like the whole like just like operating it as a business. Like I feel like that was the part that he was more like into. But yeah, he was making beats, like he was engineering the artist. Then he found out that I knew how to make beats, and then it was like, all right, bro, now I'm about to do everything is like behind you for real, like word.
Make you a monster. Is that where you got your name from? Cause are you a junior?
Yeah, like well, actually, technically no, cause I got a different middle name. Like I have a middle name. My dad don't got a middle name, but we got the same first name type shit. So
Okay.
I guess, but I'm thinking a junior is technically like if y'all got the same exact name type shit. So
Right.
but
And so
pretty much
Doc on the Beat, where did that come from?
the story behind my name, like it started like when I used to live downtown, and like when I first started really getting into the music for real, like this probably maybe around like 4th grade, 5th grade, and I'm like, yo, like I'm thinking like, all right, like I'm jacking this, like I'm fucking with like the music shit, but I'm like, I don't really even got no name, like what I'm gonna call myself. And then I just remember like my friends downtown, like growing up, like they just called me Doc, like, and that was just like the only nickname that anybody ever called me outside of like my family name, like my middle name. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna just call myself Doc. Like, and it started as Doc, just like Doc, you feel me? Like it was Young Doc, like when I was on my artist shit. And then like when I got to high school, it changed to DOC basically, because I was like when I met Wild Money, like, and then he just started dead ass calling me DOC, and that shit just stuck. Like, so it's like interchangeable type shit. Like it's crazy like how my name developed so many different like forms like throughout the years. Like it went from Doc to then it was like DOC, and then the DOC niggas would be like, yo, what does DOC stand for? And I'm like, I don't even know. Like my man just be saying DOC, and it just stuck. And then one day my other mans was like, yo, you like the doctor of creativity? I'm like, yo, that's hard. Cess. Actually, I know you know Cess.
Of course,
Yeah, facts, bro. He has said that one day, like I'm at his crib, we just recording. He like, bro, you like the doctor of creativity? And I said, damn, bro, that's so hard. Like, that's the perfect, like, it just tied it all together. So it just like came together literally like that, bro. Like, that shit. Facts, bro. Facts.
And you're a producer, but not a lot of people know it, and a lot of people do know you're an artist as well. You have a crazy singing voice. And
yeah, bro. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Talk about that and how you was tapping in as an artist, like before
before I got into the producing. Yeah. So actually, it's funny that you say that, because I actually just recently dropped a single for the first time, and like facts, it's on all platforms. As you know, people have been like, I'll be posting like little snippets of like songs and shit like that, like just to see a feel, and then like niggas was like really fucking with that the one snippet that I had posted. So I was just like, one day I was just like, fuck it, I'm about to just upload this shit, like, because I know sometimes it be like a hard line to walk with like trying to do producing and artist shit, but like I don't know, like the music shit for me is just like a form of expression. I just like for my voice, like, so that's why I always just like making music or like songs outside of just like producing. Like I started producing first, and then I really tapped into the artist thing because like I remember it was like probably like 9th grade. Like this was when like SoundClick was still like, niggas used to get beats from SoundClick, and I was posting my beats on SoundClick charging like 20 cash for them shits, bro. And like niggas wasn't jacking them though, like niggas wasn't trying to buy them shit. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm about to just rap on my own beat. Like my sister was like, yo, why don't you just rap on your own beats? And I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just try that shit. And then like I started recording like songs, and then like niggas, I was getting like decent responses. Like it was funny though, like cause back then, like, you know, like a lot of people, cause we've been doing this shit for a long time. So like when we was doing it, like we was like the niggas that was doing it. Like not a lot of people was doing music or stuff like that then. So like it was fake weird to niggas like, this nigga singing, like niggas was clowning like, you know, the homies and shit. But then other people like, nah, that shit sound fire. So that kind of gave me the motivation to like just like fuck with the artist side too, because I really was just making beats at first, and then I like, that's what made me like tap into that world. I'm like, all right, fuck it, because I used to be doing like choir at church and shit, so I always knew how to like sing, yeah, like, and like that's where I learned how to play like mad instruments and shit, like just church, yeah, facts, like that's literally where I learned how to do like mad musical things, like church. I started playing the drums, and then I just graduated to the piano. Like just every day I would just watch, like after they get done playing or at service, I'll just go over there and start messing around. And they was like, oh, you know how to play the piano? Oh, now you play the piano for the church. I'm like, all right. Like, so that's literally how I got into like instruments and like the artistry, like where it was just cause niggas wasn't copping beats. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna just rap on these shits. That's
That makes sense why you're such a great producer, cause, and it's not a knock to them, but a lot of producers don't play an instrument.
Right.
But the fact that you actually play instruments and brought it to the digital beat making side, that makes sense why you're playing.
Not like, nah, word, yeah. It's like, and it's crazy though, because like, cause I also do know like producers, like even if they don't necessarily know how to like play crazy, like just like the understanding of like theory kind of sometimes, that shit just helps. And like, and that's stuff that I just learned from like even just going to school for that shit. Cause I did go to school, I went to Schenectady for like 2-3 years and got my little music degree type shit. So it's just like, I just always kept the music shit around for real. Like, because literally once I decided like this is what I'm gonna do, I just try to surround myself like with anything like that will help me like grow musically for real. So word.
And I'm trying to top it from top to bottom and really tell this story. You was also locked in with somebody from out here named Dev.
Yes, facts, yo.
And like, was that one of the first person that like believed in your beats and was like rapping on your beats?
For sure. Well, before
he was popping. I'm saying he's not popping no more.
Nah. That's a fact. Like when we came together, like we definitely like created like a super moment, like of just like on some real team shit. Like that was dead ass like my first artist. I would say like I really was like 100% like. I put my like art, like I didn't put my artist shit aside, but I was really like, I kind of dedicated myself to being more of a producer when I met Dev. Like I'm like, I like, you got fire, because I remember like even meeting him, like we was in high school together. We was in like, I think this is like my 11th grade year, his senior year, and we had this one nanotech class together. And I remember my son was like football, like he was on football heavy, like how niggas would talk about like making it in music. Like bro would just be like, yo, I'm going to the league. Like he was on that football shit heavy. So I just remember like him like always being in class, like we be in class, niggas clowning. He like, yo bro, like I dead ass know how to rap. I'm like, nigga, you play football, like you don't really do this music shit. Like, so he like, nah, dead ass. So I remember he was I'll just remember sending him a pack of beats, and then he sent me back like 3 songs that he did to him. He was like, yo bro, how much you charge again? Like I was like, yeah bro, like 25 for the beat to lease it type shit. So he sent me back the song, and that shit was hard. It was Exotic, the song that we had called Exotic. That was like our first song together, and he just steamed that shit. And I just remember like, nah, like fuck it bro, like let's work. Like I was feeling what he did to the beats. Like I felt like we had a good chemistry like type shit. So from there it was just like we just came together. I think the next track we met at Highland Studio. Facts, my boy Dave, we had met over there, and then we like cooked up a few tracks, and then ever since that, it was just history ever since. Like then we just went on together and did like mad different things, and I feel like that's also what like brought more attention to like me being an artist, and then like showing niggas like the producing side too, because then it was like, oh, like every beat pretty much, like I did his whole first album, like all the beats and stuff like that, and then like we did a couple collabs, and then we would just do mad shows and shit, like so like Upstate Concert Hall and shit like that. So that was an era in time, like dead ass, like where it was like I feel like like niggas started like really seeing it like in a different light, like yo, like y'all really like, cause it was that point in time where I felt like we was just opening up for like every artist that was coming up to Upstate Concert Hall, and niggas was just like, yo, how y'all keep opening up for all these? But I think he had a relationship with the dude, like he ended up meeting him somehow, like the owner of the Upstate Concert Hall, and like he just was fucking with one of the sets that niggas did, and then he was just like, yo, I'll book y'all again, like. So we just fake had the little plug, so that shit was like good, like just building like to getting the name out there and shit like that, for real. OD, that shit was mad helpful, for real.
Facts.
That's a super fact.
And like, and just mentioning that, cause you said in the beginning, like, and I think it's like this for every producer, so like, just some advice for up and coming producers when they first starting off making beats. How did you stick in there and not get discouraged in the beginning when you was making beats and you didn't necessarily want to rap on your beats? Some producers like to get discouraged and quit. What kept you going to like, because I think it's so crazy. You could have got discouraged.
Nah, facts. And just said fuck this shit.
You would have never been a multi-platinum Billboard producer as you are now. What kept you motivated? Did you know you was just gonna make it in this, or did you?
I kind of feel like during that time, I think I had kind of already like made it up in my mind like that's like music is what I wanted to do type shit. So like it was just like simply just like the fact that I just love making music, and like I'm the type of person, like if somebody tell me I can't do something, like it's just gonna make me feel like I want to go harder at doing it, cause like I don't want to feel like somebody could limit like something that I'm able to do. So it just was like one of those things, like I said, like I just turned it into motivation. Like, all right, niggas don't want to rap on my beats, I'm gonna rap on these shits because I feel like they hard, so I'm gonna rap on them. And then it'll be crazy because then niggas will be like, yo, that beat fire. I'm like, bro, that's the same beat, like you feel me? So it was just kind of like one of those kind of things, like sometimes you just gotta like show people the full vision of something that you see, you feel me? And I feel like with the music part, sometimes like as a producer, like you see like a vision in your head, but it's like you gotta like get people to kind of see it. So I feel like me like just doing the artist part over it was like help to like do that. But that's really like, I don't know, I just dead ass took that shit as motivation, like to just go harder, like like word.
But do you think it was you that you keep like your consistency of keep on making beats that got you better? What was it that got you better? Did you have a mentor? Was it
I would say
got you to that next level?
That got me to the next level, honestly, I would say it was like me linking up with P, that ass, like cause
so
facts.
How did you meet P? And for those who don't know, P is one of the heads of G-Star Management. How did you meet P?
I met P through again, I remember my boy Dave at Highland. He had hit me up because at the time P was managing the artist Youngie. Remember my boy Youngie? Facts. He was managing Youngie, and they was in a studio like in a session, but they was recording at Highland. And Dave, me just knowing him from like church, cause like that's literally how I knew him, cause he was like the organist at my church. So like that was my tie to him. So, and he just knew me being like a younger dude, like trying to get into doing my music shit. He was like, yo bro, I got these artists pulling up, bro. They looking for beats, you feel me? Like pull up. So I just pulled up. I'm like maybe like 18, 19 at the time. Pulled up with my laptop, played niggas a few beats, and I think they probably copped like 3 beats right then and there. Like it was him and Blaze, like they copped like 3 beats. I think it was Youngie and US Bay, they was working in there, and they was working on tracks and shit, but the niggas did like 3 joints to some shits I had that time. So like at that time, like I said, this is still all around the time where it's like niggas ain't really copping beats. Like I've had a few sales, but it wasn't like that. So for niggas to pull up to a session and just sell 3 joints right there as a young nigga, I'm like, oh shit, like that shit was just motivation to me. Like, my shit is good enough for niggas to purchase, like, you feel what I'm saying? So that was just like motivation right there, for real. And then like literally after that session, bro, I got P number, and we never seen each other, never talked again until probably like a year and a half later, when Youngie ended up moving to Albany, and he just happened to remember the session, hit me on the gram like, yo bro, he said, yo, but I ain't gonna front, bro. Ever since we did that session, bro, like I've been wanting to tap in. So like he moved back. As soon as he moved back up here, he's like, yo, I'm here now, bro. I'm tapping in. tap back in. Then me and P just end up linking up, and I'm like, damn, bro, I had your number for a year, never even used it. And then we just linked back up like that, simply, like it was that simple. And then from there we just been rocking that ass, like for real. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So now P hit you back up, put you under the wing, kind of on some management tip, right? And like, cause P, he's somebody that's really connected in this industry. So even with the Youngie situation, that was a situation like they had a deal on the table and all of that. And like in the same way, that's how P hit me.
Right.
We worked on something previous, and then he hit me back up to link up for that situation. So I'm like, let's talk about that era with the Rowdy Boys, they was called, right?
The
Rowdy Boys and stuff like that, and producing for them. Was that your first time being like having the opportunity to see some real industry shit?
It's so crazy because like literally I feel like around that whole time, like just that whole year, I think that was maybe like 2014, 2015, like that whole year, like I was getting so many glimpses of like just the industry, because I remember D, my boy D from the barbershop from Bricks, he had brought me and Dev down to the Heatmaker studio in the Manhattan. So like that was like my first time like pulling up and being in like a like, you feel me, like some Manhattan big studio type shit. Like, so I was like, that opened my eyes just to be like, oh shit, like we like, you know what I'm saying? Like we know people that know people, like we right there. Like it just made me feel like that, like, yo, we right here. Like we know people that did this and that and that. So that's just make us like, you know what I'm saying? Like that close, and just like relationship wise, it's just all about building those relationships. So that, yeah, like around that time, but like that experience, and then like I said, like with P, like just bringing me down to the town, like Fight Club and all of that, like that was like, oh, like I'm in here, it's plaques on the wall, it's artists just walking past like regular, like, oh shit, that's Jim Jones right there, that's like just mad people, bro, like just crazy. So I'm like, damn, like that shit just was an eye opener, like for real, just motivated me even more, like damn, like this shit only 2 hours away, like
word.
like word, that's like that shit is so crazy.
Like, we don't realize how
much
we are to success and how close we are to the things that we want to be a part of.
For real.
Like, do you believe, this is what I believe, do you believe that being exposed to them type of things gives you a whole nother type of fire and motivation to know that?
Absolutely, nah, for sure.
People have to see that.
For sure, I definitely think like traveling outside of your city like is a major help, because what you also notice, like in traveling, you notice that people in other cities feel the same way you feel about living in your city. So it just be like, damn, like this is happening everywhere. Like everywhere is niggas are trying to get it. So it just also puts in perspective that like you just gotta kind of do as much as you can, like in any aspect, because like it's like no matter where you are, like it's always gonna be like them obstacles, you feel me? And I just feel like it's different, because like when you grow up in an environment that you just like know, or like people just like yeah, I know you, like we went to school, like people just look at shit differently, because it's like, oh, I know you, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't really explain it, but it's just like, it's like that from every hometown. So that shit just like made me think like, damn, like everybody going through the shit. Niggas in New York feel like that, and that's a major big city. So, but then they'll come up here, like example, Apollo, you know what I'm saying? He came up here and started his like fam, like Albany kind of helped launch them, and it was just because he was just a different face that like niggas wasn't really familiar, and just like, yo, who is this nigga? And just seeing niggas just pushing him crazy. So
like the new kid in school.
Yeah, like the new kid in school, like exactly. So it's like literally like that type of thing. So I think definitely like traveling helped me just open my eyes to being like, yo, it's more out there, and also niggas is struggling just like we struggling. So we, at the end of the day, like we deadass still all we got, like when in a sense, like your peers, like we kind of make what's going on around us for real. So it's like that sense, like we ain't gonna build that shit until we really build that network to like where it's those platforms in New York or whatever, like niggas establish those. But we could have the same thing, like we could have like you got right here, bro. Like this is all a part of that building block. So
right.
For real.
Right. Right.
Shit is important.
That's those are all facts. And going into all of that, let's talk about the G-Star family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who you're currently with, G-Star, correct?
Facts.
That's it. Those are my guys as well. P, Gabby, Apollo, J.I.
Daisy. Yeah, we got Daisy. And yeah, that's it right now. I think it's a couple of other artists that we like working with right now. We got Lil Aries. It's a management company for real. So like everybody's kind of like got, you know, independent, like I think J.I. is signed to Interscope but managed through G-Star kind of thing. So like they just managing like all of the, you know what I'm saying, all of the talent and stuff like that, and just helping get you to that next stage, or just relationship building, or you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So they just managing like all the affairs, like everything I'm trying to like do, kind of just managing, being behind me, yo, supporting, like, yo, do that over here or meet this person, like, so word.
And from the looks of it, it's a difference between G-Star, and just from being like in it and a part of it somewhat, it's different than just a management company though. Right?
Nah, for sure.
It's like a family.
Nah, that's a fact. And I think that's just due to the fact of like the nature of P and Gabi relationship, because you know they like childhood brother, like friends, like from kids. So just off the extension of their relationship, like I feel like it trickled down, like from me and P relationship. Like I kind of look at that, my relationship with Gab, the same way I look at my relationship with P, like an older brother, or you know what I'm saying, an uncle with some shit that you could tell them whatever, like they're just like they gonna tell you whatever, like tell you about yourself, was like in reverse. So I think that's what's like different about that situation. Is like we really go, oh, your family, like we met each other's families and stuff like that. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, it's a little bit more personal. It's not just all business, you feel what I'm saying? Like so yeah, that I would say that in a sense, for real, like it's definitely different on that end, because it's like a family. Like niggas could call each other, talk about real shit. It ain't all just about music. You feel what I'm saying? So that shit is important.
And I think that plays a huge tribute to why y'all at where y'all at now as well. Keeping it so tight. It's a lot of people that see certain things and get in certain rooms, and they'll get off track and think that they should be over there, over here, and over there. But
right.
With the G-Star family, they have a way of keeping it really, really tight, to where like they know you can't really get to my artist unless you speak to
right. Nah,
like,
for real.
It's a genius way how they working it. But before we talk about all the successes and stuff that's been happening in the last 2 years, let's talk about the grind, because I believe like there's a lot of people that see people that's successful and just think they became successful. And what that person went through to that point.
For real, that's
that year just
oh my god.
Studio sessions, sleeping with Apollo, Lincoln J.I.
Bro.
Up 5 nights in a row in Manhattan in the studio session.
Yeah, you definitely know, you could account for that firsthand, because I'm pretty sure you probably got some footage from that time. That's bro, like, but really the grind was real. Like that shit was not easy. I remember like during that time, I had just like recently, like I had like stopped working at my job that I had, because I was going down to the studio so much, and then like my son was just born, so I just was like juggling a lot for real. And then I just had to make some tough choices, like damn, like do I want to, you know, keep like working? And like it wasn't that my job that I had was a good job, but it was just like one of those things where like you grow so much at somewhere, and then it's like time for you to like elevate or just grow beyond that. And then that's what I kind of felt like I had learned as like a lot of good things at that job, and like learned everything I could learn. It was like I just felt like I needed to do something different. And then simultaneously at that time, that's when Apollo came up here. And not for nothing though, I was ready to stop making music at that time also. Like I was literally like, that was the nuttiest time of my life. Like I promise you, that was the nuttiest time of my life, because it was just like I said, like we had been just doing like so much stuff around here, but like not really like traveling outside here. So it was like feeling like we just reached the peak of like where we could go. It's like, yo, what else we like trying to figure out how to do? And then it was just like I just had mad life shit going on. Like it was just kind of like, yo, one of them things where it's like, all right, you gotta think different. Like now you got a kid, like nigga, you can't just be making me like, this shit gotta make sense for real. Like, it can't just be all fun and games and like, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of would like hit that point, like, and then I just remember telling myself like, yo, you bugging. Like, you ain't never ever say that you don't want to do music. Like, even when shit was tough, like, you never had that viewpoint. So I kind of just had to like reset myself, and then I ended up moving back home, and I was just like, yo, I'm about to just go all in with this music shit. I'm gonna do this shit 100%. Like, I'm gonna just see where it go. And then like literally, that's when you just seen it, bro. Every time you pulled up to the stew, I was at the stew, or we was about to go to New York to go to the stew or whatever. Like, and it was just that time, like, and I just was like, yo, I'm putting everything I got into this shit, cause like, that's all I got right now, like literally. So it was like,
the little homie attributed, you having your little homie at that time
hell yeah.
Saying, fuck this job shit, I'm about to just go in.
Nah, hell yeah, bro. I remember I quit my job the day before his first birthday. And I just remember thinking, like, I remember as clear as day, bro. I'm sitting there just thinking, like, yo, I'm bugging. like, I'm wilding. Like, I got to take care of this kid. I just quit my job. Mind you, like I said, it was a good job. Like, I was making decent money. Like, it wasn't like, you feel me? I'm just like, yeah, I'm wilding. But, like, luckily, my mom's was just supportive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I had supportive people. I had people like P, just people that deadass believed in me as much as I believed in myself, and then sometimes believed in me more than I did at certain times to help me keep pushing forward. You feel what I'm saying? So that shit was just a major key of just having them important people just like helping, like, you know what I'm saying? Just helping keep me motivated even when I was like, bro, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, bro. Like, I don't know what this is. I don't know if I'm if I'm making the right choice, the wrong choice. Like, I just jumped in, like, I'm gonna just give myself like, yo, a year. After a year, if nothing materialized, if I don't see no progress in a year's time, I'm done with this shit. Like, I'm gonna just figure out some other shit. And then what's crazy is the year, like the day that I quit my job, that following year, that day, we was off the first tour, like. And it was just like, yo, that shit was just the most mind-blowing thing, because I thought about it like, yo, that, like, yeah, like, it's just like how crazy life could just change in an instant, like that, and then like not really realizing that a whole year had went past until I'm looking like, yo, the day, I'm like, oh, I said, oh, that's when I quit my job. But it's like now a year later, niggas is on tour and the records blowing up and all that shit. So it was just like one of those moments like, oh shit, like, you know how you always watch those interviews and people be like, their life just seemingly changed overnight, but it was like all of this whole process up until then, and then they just finally got to that point where it's like, all right, I'm either all in or I don't know, like, you just put all your chips and then you just win. So it's like, that shit is really real. But it was a process though, like, so I was sleeping in the studio. I wasn't even, it would be times where I was at the studio more than I was at the crib. Then I would have to deal with that, because it's like balancing my son and all. It was a lot though, but
let's talk
it was a grind.
You and Apollo. Y'all chemistry is different. And
that's a fact.
Firsthand, like,
my bro, my fucking
like,
bro.
I would literally watch it. You would open your laptop, put on a beat or start making a beat.
Bro,
and
just
like literally in minutes, this nigga Apollo would come up with a melody.
Facts.
He'll be doing some crazy voice or sound, and then then it's a hit. Like,
nah, that's a fact.
It's not that simple, but it really seemed that simple.
Nah,
where did that
real.
chemistry come from? And let's talk about like Apollo and what you've seen in him.
Shit, yeah, bro. Like, I ain't gonna front. Like, he kind of like made me, like I said, at the time when I was like, I'm about to be done with this shit. Like I'm over this music shit. He just like appears, and like, I remember our first time meeting, we had made like that ass, bro. It was like, had to be like 10 songs or some shit. Like in our first session, like some nutty ass amount of number. And then they was like good songs too. Like they was like, you feel me? Like I was jacking them shits, like, nah, like it just made me re-energize me. Like damn, like, all right, niggas still, you feel me? Like niggas ain't lose the touch or nothing. Like niggas just needed some, you know what I'm saying? Just new, and yeah, like, and exactly. And he was just like younger, just like came with that hunger. Like, so it just like went hand in hand. And I remember telling him after that session, like, yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie, like, you made me love this shit again, like, real talk. So I will always like appreciate that, like that bond, like, or that just meeting, cause that shit was like, he turned me up just like we turned each other up for real. So that shit was just like, it literally just happened. Like that shit was so crazy. Like I ain't know him from a hole in the wall, but because of like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, my relationship with P, Mob, like I look at them like, though that's my family. So I just embraced him the same, you feel me? Like,
And they were really close with him. From
well, Mob and Apollo, they was like close. Hey, so you feel me? Like just off that extension, like I just looked at him like he my little, like my brother too, you feel me? So we just locked in, niggas was going crazy. Then the rest was history from that point with Apollo. It was like, Slime went crazy. Word, Slime went crazy.
That was such a moment for this city.
Yes,
and like
that's a fact.
Watching that shit being recorded, breakdown like from the beginning, making that beat. Did you think that was gonna be like? Was that made for Apollo?
Yeah, well, I think
sessions and like, making that song. Let's break that down.
Yeah, word, bro. I just remember we was cooking up. I want to say that was the same. That might have been maybe in the same session or like in the same like time span that we had like did the Trap Star joint too. But like, I'll talk about that one after. But I'm gonna stay on topic. The slime joint. Like I just remember we was like cooking up. Like we was cooking up and like the beat, like it was just like, all right, this beat hard type shit. And then like bro had this some shit like, and not for nothing, I feel like he for real like freestyled that shit. Like it wasn't even like no written shit. Like he was just vibing and then it was just sounding hard. And then like he added the little knock shit, like nigga was knocking on the door, like you know that probably was like shh, like whatever. Like he was really knocking on the door. Then we just putting it together like, yo, this shit just sounds so hard. Like yeah, like it was just like a nutty, like the way it came together was just mad nutty. Like it was hella organic. Like bro was just vibing to the beat and then next thing you know, we just throw the mic on, he started all that shit. And then I'm like, bro, like that shit just started getting niggas hype. So I'm like, nah, this shit hard. So then he just like, I feel like he dead ass one take that shit, no cap. Like I really feel like he one take it and then after that we just like went back, added like ad-libs and little shit like that. And then if people notice, that song is like one big hook, bro.
Now that you say that, if you listen to the song, it sounds like a freestyle. Even the little middle part.
Yeah, nah, he was really freestyle. Yeah, like he was really freestyling, and then like basically after he did that part, I just doubled it. Like everything he did, I just copied, boom, and then it was like became the whole record because it was like. Cause he was trying to think of where to go after that, and it was like, damn, bro, like I can't even hear nothing, cause it was just like the way that shit was, just the beat and like his lyrics was going together. It's like you don't even notice that he's saying the same shit twice back to back. Like it's not really a second verse, but the shit was just rocking so crazy. It was like, nah, this shit is. Put the little snippet out. Niggas was going crazy when he was doing a little dance when he was in the stool. I think, matter of fact, you recorded that shit. That's what, dead ass, bro. You recorded that. That was the first little snippet. Then that snippet fake went viral. Like niggas was jacking that shit crazy. And then I just remember we was just going on mad shows. Like we was just going to do mad shows at mad clubs. Nah, going crazy. Like bro, facts. Like
to be an upcoming artist and be moving shows to what he was doing out here.
Bro.
Just all around this, actually, East Coast.
Nah, for real.
Different.
Bro, we was pulling up to shows like 40 deep, bro. Like, so that energy alone, like 40 deep, like uniform though. Like niggas all got the same slime fit. Like niggas is going crazy. So niggas is just off that energy alone. Like niggas is just looking like, yo, who the fuck is these niggas pulling up in this shit? 50 of y'all niggas. Then he start performing, you just see a mosh pit in the front of this shit, mad niggas wilding. Like the energy was just like contagious at that point. Like that slime shit literally was tearing shit down every time, bro. No cap, for real.
He kept him wanting more. That's where, like, I think P is a genius because he had the plan.
For real.
To me, yo, DocOnDaBeat, we're not even gonna shoot no full videos. We're gonna shoot like 10 snippets of all of these hits that y'all was making, and we're just putting out snippets. And that's literally what we did. And from there,
shit just started
went crazy. Do you think that formula that y'all came up with of releasing these snippets and just leaving them wanting more had a lot to do with the buzz that y'all created? I
definitely think it was a conjunction. It was like that. It was a conjunction. It was like that. The new kid syndrome, like, and then the fact that like I feel like he tapped in like with just the right people too. Like it was just all the right people together. Like literally, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You, myself, P, like just everybody combined like behind it, just like all added to be like it's a movement. Like you got like
part, like let's even talk about Mob, like in the position he like his position is really important. He's like baby P, literally, but like
not like word like
and playing like a sort of management.
Yeah, facts.
What's Mob's position and how does that really like? How does he help you? And
yeah, he's doing like a little bit of like everything. Honestly, I would say like just like like he was like word like we in a stew, we everybody kicking vibes, we just, you know what I'm saying, ideas, whatever, whether it's on the music end of things or then just like, you know what I'm saying, on the social end of things, like just everybody tapping into their network, getting like the music out there. So like, you know what I'm saying, like he just tapped in with so many people just through the basketball shit and like, you know what I'm saying, just everything that him and his pops like, you know what I'm saying, like just do for people like in the community. It was like, I feel like niggas just tapped in just off the respect of just like that alone, like, so that just shit was helping like a lot too, like niggas just respecting the situation because of the people that, you know what I'm saying, is behind it, and niggas really just respecting niggas handle for real. So hell yeah, like bro play a major part though, like just in, you know what I'm saying, just guiding niggas and navigating around this shit for real too, like for real, that's a fact.
So important. Then the Upstate Classic, Apollo, Cushy Sunoco, produced by DOC, Trap Star. Oh my God. Let's talk about that session. That wave.
Yo, that session. I think I just remember. I remember that his last day, like, cause he was still living. Apollo was still living in Arizona at that time, so he moved back. I mean, he didn't move back, but he had been about to go back to Arizona. Cause he had been up here for like maybe like a week or so or whatever. That's when we first met, did all of the records. And then this was like his last like night there before like he was about to literally catch the bus to catch his flight that morning. And we in the studio just cooking up his latest hell. That was probably like the last song, like the beat we made, the Trap Star, the beat, and and he recorded like the hook and his first verse. And then Mob actually sent the fucking verse to Cushy. So Mob for Fate made that song happen for real, because niggas wasn't even thinking about that. Like he just did it on some like yo, I sent that shit to my man. I just want to see what he gonna do with it. Came back to niggas, sent niggas the verse with Cushy on it. Like nah, bro started dumping on that shit, and then it just became the track. Like fuck it, and then that shit went stupid. And that was really, honestly, for me, like that was my first like big record that I would say I produced, like aside from Nimi, like that was the first song I produced that hit 100K like on SoundCloud. That shit was going stupid, like OD. It was on the radio crazy. So it was like those records right there, like all kind of just helped that buzz going into that next like phase. Cause that, like I said, like around that time, that's when we had all just linked up. J.I. I probably hadn't really worked with him, but I met him at that time, but I hadn't really worked with him. But he was just hearing the records that me and Apollo was doing and was like just fucking with what we was doing. So it just, everything just clicked in like that for real. That shit is just mad crazy. Like every time I think back on just how everything progressed, I would be like, yo, like it's like, damn, was this shit always supposed to happen, or is this like, that shit be weird, but that shit, gosh, yeah, bro, it's just like stories, bro. Nah, facts.
So, and then you and Apollo got the whole East Coast going crazy, even places outside of the East Coast, but y'all got it going nuts, bananas. And then P and Gabby brings in the young boy, J.I. J.I. the Prince. That's what he was known at the time from the show and all of that. Let's talk about meeting J.I. in the studio and at Fight Club.
That's a fact. And I just remember the first song like that I recorded, like me recording him, I think was like that it was like a freestyle, and we had shot the vid and the Triciana freestyle. That's a fact. Like, nah, that ass, bro.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, nah, you remember that? That I think that was probably like the first song, and that was just like a freestyle. Like that was just me, my first time like really recording with him and like being in a studio with him for real. And then like shit from there, I think maybe the next like couple times we went down to the Fight Club, like we actually got a session in and I just recorded like a few songs. And then it was maybe like 5 months or 6 months after that until like Nimi came, like.
That's when I made it?
Yeah, like 5 months or so after, 6 months after like me meeting him initially, like, cause we had did a few records. I know the few records we started in the beginning, it was like, it had to be, that was around like maybe February, March like time. And then like towards the end of the summer, like middle, end of the summer, like we worked a few more times in between there. And then like the end of the summer, that was like August when he had dropped Need Me. But I just remember doing that session, we had recorded Pain. We had recorded Pain, the one song Pain, that's on his first EP. We did that song, and then he had the idea for the beat, like, yo, bro, you know this song? I'm like, yeah, I know that song. Like, he's like, yo, I'm gonna sample that shit, but like we should do like some different shit with the drums, like put some reggae type drums behind it. Like, nah, he fake already had like, he already had like the idea in his mind. I just executed this shit from like, yeah, like he was like, yo, bro, like this, so I'm cooking up the beat. I'm like, yeah, like niggas was bopping to it, but we didn't even record the song that day. Like, I gave him the beat. Probably like I came back up here a week later, or maybe like a couple days later or some shit like that. He sent me the song like, yo, bro, I think I'm about to drop this shit, cause it's like I want to drop it before the end of the summer because like it's a summer record, like what he's saying. But he was kind of like iffy about it, cause like he wasn't like doing that much sing songs, like singing melody shit. Like he was like kind of getting into the melody shit, but like I guess that song probably for him like at that time was like just a little bit different than what he was normally used to doing. But he dropped that shit, and that shit started going stupid. Like, I just remember the time when I actually was thinking like, nah, this song's dead ass, like, this a hit, bro. Like, and it was just random. It was random as fuck. Nah, it was like when he sent it to me, I'm like, nah, this shit, it was hard. Like, it was hard. Like, I was fucking with it. But then when I really like realized, like, it was just the hit, like the thought just dawned on me. Like, I was bumping a song on SoundCloud like in a car one day, and I'm just listening to this shit, and I'm like, nah, like this shit just going crazy. Like, cause like I'm not hella good with lyrics. Like when I know songs, like I know the beat before I know the lyrics of the song. But like the fact that I was just like top to bottom, like going crazy, I'm like, nah, this shit is just hitting different. Like this shit, the niggas got one with this shit. And then it was just going crazy on SoundCloud. I think that was like, so from Trap Star being my first 100K, then like a few months later, that was my first M on SoundCloud. So then it was like, oh shit, like that all happened in the same year. So I was like, damn, like niggas is really going up with these shits. Like it was just whatever energy that niggas had at that time, it was just like so much just energy and grind. Like that shit was just like, it was just like, and then everything, all the pieces were just kind of lining up. Like, so that shit was just wild, bro. That ass. I was just like, yo.
This shit crazy.
Word, like, this shit crazy. Like, every time you turn around, you hear niggas bumping that shit in the car or some shit like that. Or niggas texting me, yo, bro, they playing this shit at a club in North Carolina. Like, mad random ass places. Yo, they bumping this shit in Texas. Or, like, I'm just like, damn, like, niggas really got one. Like,
and just on the producer side of things, because that's a coveted sample that y'all used and all of that. Was it hard to get the clearance for that sample?
Facts.
Or was it like,
nah, that shit's definitely
did Steve Style
process.
have something to do with that?
I ain't even gonna front, bro. I let the management side of it like figure, yeah, word. Like it was just like we made the beat, they was figuring out all that stuff on the back end.
That's beautiful though. You just create.
Yeah, word, like that, because that was like the important thing for me too. I think like just coming up, like it's just like being able to actually focus fully on just creating and not like trying to think of mad extra components when you like doing it like independently without like a management. Because it's like, I don't know, it's like it's helpful to just like, you know what I'm saying, those little back end things, like you got somebody kind of looking back and making sure everything is like everything. So word, that shit.
Yeah, drop Need Me. That shit go nuts. Crazy. Like
stupid. Nah, stupid.
And
stupid.
What was next after that? Blame on Me?
Nah, I think he dropped, for real, for fake, he dropped Blame on Me. Blame on Me was already fake, like, that shit was already, like, doing its thing, because I think it went viral on Twitter or some shit like that. And then, like, so that one, for him, was, like, already, like, kind of on that climb, but then the Need Me shit just was, like, oh, he already bugging, and then he dropped that, and then it was like, oh, shit, he bugging, like, yeah, word, like, it was kind of like that, but he was already, like, that shit was already, like, going up, and that record just was, like, caught and just went, like, OD, but, like, I think the next record after that might have been Hood Scars.
And that's what you produced?
Nah, I didn't do that one.
Right,
Nah, yeah.
What's the next one that you produced that went nuts? I just can't
The next one after that, we did, it was in my, Painless. The joint with, Nav
Bro,
and Lil Durk. Hell yeah.
Yo,
That shit was crazy.
How did that feel?
Yo.
Did you know that was gonna happen?
Nah, the way that it happened was crazy because I actually recorded that. I made that beat in my crib. Like, I was in my crib, like, cooking up. And then I just remember, like, making a beat. And I'm like, nah, this shit is going crazy. And I had called him, like, yo, bro, like, I ain't gonna lie, my nigga. I got this beat right now, bro. Because originally, when I made it, because I think this was when he had got the look for, like when Drake was bumping and shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hell yeah. So I had made it. And then, like.
Alright, my bad. You skip over that. How the fuck did that feel? Your beat.
Nah, it wasn't even my beat. It was somebody else. It was another song. Like,
wasn't bumping Need Me on it?
Nah, he was bumping Used To.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was bumping Used To, but like just the fact that niggas was on the radar, I'm like, nigga, that's fire, bro. So like I remember I was cooking up the Painless beat and then I'm like, yo, bro. Like I just remember being mad hype because I'm like hearing like, yo, I was like, yo, but I could OD hear you going crazy on this shit. And then I'm like, yo, like if it was like you, like niggas gotta get this shit to Drake or somebody. Like you and Drake gotta steam this like on some like fucking new drill, like some different type drill shit. Cause you know, like he don't do like all the traditional drill shit, but like the drill shit was kind of like going. So I was trying to figure out like how to like make some drill sound like some shit like he would be on. Like this is J.I., but it's not him trying to be like a drill artist. It's like J.I. doing some drill shit, like, you feel me? So that kind of like came up, and then I just remember being mad hype, like, yo, bro, niggas will steam and shit. And I remember him calling me like, yo, bro, thank you, like this shit fire. Then like a few hours later, he sent me back that shit. And then like in the same night, like he ended up talking and like Nav ended up hearing it somehow. I don't even fucking know how he ended up hearing it. But then a nigga threw his verse on that shit like not that long after that. Like, bro, like it was quick as hell. I was like, oh shit. And then the Dirk shit, just that was left field. Like that was unexpected OD because originally it was just J.I. and Nav, and then like right before niggas was about to release it, bro ended up getting on that shit. That shit was fire. So that shit was just crazy, like 2 for 1. Like niggas, yeah, like damn, Dirk, Nav on the beat, cause I fuck with Nav heavy. Like I remember not like knowing about Nav from like Twitter shit, like when he was just producing for real, and then he had like just dropped like a few records. So I been was like fake on Nav, like just knowing his bop. So like for him to hop on one of my beats, that shit was fire. I ain't gonna front, like that shit was super fire. I'm like, yo, now my nigga Nav.
Different.
Nah, facts, bro. That shit was definitely a moment, for real.
Now G-Star full-fledged going crazy. Y'all platinums is coming in, all types of shit. And y'all hit tour. Y'all go on the first tour. Let's talk about that experience and seeing all these cities and seeing the fan love and all of that. How was that?
Bro, that shit was different. Like, cause like for me, that was a lot of time. That was like my first time, like just even visiting a lot of different places, like for real. Like I've never been to Cali. I always wanted to go to Cali, so that was my first time like really even touching Cali or the West Coast in general. So like I definitely got to just see like mad new places and things, and then just like seeing how much people love this record that niggas created and like the records that we was doing. It's just like that was just a different feel too. Like damn, like bro, what? Like, cause that will be always like the fake last song that niggas always perform is like Need Me. So like when that shit go off, bro, like the amount of people that just be singing that shit, like, and it was so crazy cause like I ain't even an artist, bro. And you know how like we'll be on stage and like feeling the energy of that shit. I'm like, yo, I don't even know how this nigga be doing this shit. Cause I'll be like, yo, like this shit just feel crazy. Cause it's like you looking at thousands of people just singing your shit back to you. Like that's a crazy ass feeling. Like, cause I remember the first show we had did in Connecticut where it was like he opened up for A Boogie and he did the Need Me shit, bro. And that shit was going crazy. Like that shit was unreal. Like I'm just like, yo, these niggas is really jacking this shit. Like OD, like that shit was just a nutty ass feeling. So like tour life, that shit was lit. Like I ain't gonna lie, that shit was lit. It was tough because we literally drove country, East Coast and West. Like it was real, like it was that real tour life, bro. Like that shit was different, but it was fun though. It was definitely an experience, like a learning experience for real. Just like seeing the amount of grind, especially like, cause at that time I think, if I'm not mistaken, we was like still in the independent like space as far as like, bro might have just got his. Yeah, he might have did, but like a lot of the stuff with the tour, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was like it was like independent. Like nigga, I remember times where I was sitting at the merch table, like selling merch type shit, like mad, like niggas had to play mad roles on tour. Like it was us, like literally, it was us just putting it in, bro. So like just that whole experience that I just told me a lot just about like how tours even run, like, or like the type of shit that you got to do. So it was just like an overall just 360 perspective of just like the whole game in one, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just mad, just soaking up mad game, like just seeing how shit really operate. Like this is what this shit really like that shit is go times where we would have to go from one city to the next and not even really have time to fucking, we ain't even going to the telly. Like after we do the show, we out, drive 6 hours, gotta be here. Now you could get a little bit of sleep in the morning, whatever for the day. Like that shit is non-stop. That was probably the longest I ever been away from my son. Like that time I was gone from him for like a month. So that shit was different, but it was a dope ass experience for real. That shit was super dope.
Who were some people you met while on that tour, or like some connections y'all made when y'all hit these states? Was there anybody notable that you connected with? I'm sure a lot of industry people.
I'm trying to think, like, did we? I'm not even gonna front, bro. I can't even remember if it was, cause I really literally feel like a lot of this shit was just we going to a show, doing our thing at the show. After niggas get out the show, we about to either go to the telly or we hopping on the road to go to the next place. Like, cause like during the day, like maybe he'll just go do like radio shit or like go do his press runs and shit like that. So then the gang will be like trying to figure out like we about to go shopping or try to get a little time in before niggas get crammed up in this V again. But yeah, I can't even think. When we was in Cali, we had met this dope artist, Kiyu. Like I remember meeting her. She was dope. She was mad cool. She was like a upcoming artist. Really, she had like a situation or some shit. I don't even know. Like she's doing her thing. Like she's still doing her thing. Like some chick from New York. She was dope though. But yeah, that's really who I could think.
It's kind of crazy because I kind of asked that question because now with y'all doing your second tour and stuff like that, y'all doing it how a lot of artists don't go about it. Usually artists that get popping have his records and stuff, and they'll throw them on somebody else's tour. They'll be opening, and that's a huge
right
artist. But you guys are like, now we headlining our own shit,
tour, right?
Our own shit,
facts.
Like,
and the shit's selling out.
Shit's selling out.
Facts.
Crazy.
That's a fact.
What do you think attributed to that? To that path, do you think that's like Gabby and his connections, and of course the buzz y'all had, but just going in that direction of like, nah, we focusing on us?
I think the whole motivation behind that is just like for all of the other artists, like to be like more in the control of like, you know what I'm saying, just bringing up the artists. Like that's what G-Star, because like all of the openers for, you know what I'm saying, him. For J.I. is Paulo, Daisy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it kind of just go hand in hand, like you're just trying to get everybody like a platform, like build that platform for real. So I think that's probably the motivation behind like doing it that way for real. But shit it's working, it been working, so.
It's working at a high level too.
Facts.
And now you be in the space you're in now, how much plaques you got, bro? Or Billboard?
Two so far.
Platinums?
Nah, one platinum. I think one is gold.
And you have a number one.
And then we got a number. So really, two shits on the way. Then I got one that came in, and that one was for like being number one on a Heat Seeker album list or something like that for like a certain point in time and that shit. Word, bro. And I wasn't even expecting that one though. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, what? I thought it was a whole different one. I'm like, yo, I finally got my shit. I was like, oh, there's some other shit, but I fuck it, like the money, you feel me? So that shit felt good. That was a good feeling for real to just like finally just have one of them shits like, yo, like nigga, you did that shit for real. Like we did that for real, like the team for real. So that shit was dope.
and just what's next to come? 2022, like. What's I already know y'all got shit cooking and shit. Like, what's next to come for DOC?
2022, man, bro. I'm honestly, bro. I'm just on some putting out music. Like, I'm gonna put out more music, like artist wise. Like, I'm gonna just be like dropping singles. Of course, I'm still gonna be producing. We got mad bangers like in a cut. And then like got 2 new artists I'm kind of like working with, developing and like building. Shahana, she from like London, so we've been chopping it up with her for like the last 2 years, and she finally made it out here. So I'm excited to like work with her finally in person and like see what we could do. Lil bro Airy, yeah, Lil bro Airy. Nah, he 12, about to, I think 12, about to be 13. They say, yeah, bro, young boy, nice, going crazy, you feel me? So like, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like putting more into like, kind of like reaching back to, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, cause now that it's like some type of a platform, or like niggas built a platform, like I want to also use that shit to like help, like just further shit along, like just in the area, and just, you know what I'm saying? So I'm more on that type of time. Like this year coming, like I want to build more for real. Like I want to get in the studio with more artists. Like I want to do more projects. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? Like just, oh shit. I just want to like open up more.
And that's something
open up more doors.
We were just talking about content and stuff, and you've been doing this for years. Your producer tutorials, your content of like going live and making beats. You're heavy on the like helping other producers learn and stuff like that, right?
Facts.
Why is that important to you?
Because that's honest. That's how I learned, bro. Like honestly, like I just remember times where like if I had a question about some shit, bro, I watched so many tutorials and so many just gems that other people would just drop that I would just take, you know what I'm saying? Like what I thought applied to me and just applied to my grind. So like, I just think about those, like just those random people that like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all that ass helped me along in my career by just watching a video like, oh, this how you do that. So like, I just want to be able to do the same, like for people that's coming up, and just make a platform of like shit that I learn, help the next person, and just keep that shit going in a cycle for real. Like, word. And then I just feel like a lot of people be mad curious of like how things be going. So I just want to actually like that I show people that shit for real, like what niggas like, what this shit is consist of. So that be like, I like doing that shit, like, and I just fuck with the video shit. That shit is mad fun. So it's just like go all hand in hand. Like I just want to start doing that shit a lot more for real, to just let people in a little bit more on just like everything I go on. Cause I feel like sometimes people be fake, like making me feel like I'm like not a fucking like a mystical being or some shit. Like yeah, like cause I, you know, I be, cause 9 times out of 10, bro, I'm like literally always working. So like even like being here, you know, and from all this shit small, but like niggas will barely see niggas cause niggas always just doing some shit. So sometimes I feel like I just want to let niggas know, like, bro, ain't no, I'm on the same, like I'm just regular every day. Like I don't want niggas to think it's like no type of, you know what I'm saying, like super secret. And like I just want to be transparent. Like yo, like this is literally every day that what niggas gotta do to like, you know what I'm saying, to succeed or do whatever. So that's just kind of how I look at that blog and shit for real. Like it's like one of those type of things, like just getting more personal with the people that like been supporting me for real, and just opening that bridge for real. Facts.
Fire, bro.
Facts.
Fire, bro. And just a few more questions before we wrap up. What's something that you could, let's go on this. The upstate music scene, because this is where we're from, over in New York and everything. What's your thoughts on it? And what do you think is missing to help the next producer or artist get to that next level or get that look?
The current scene right now, like honestly, I'm hella proud of like the shit that I be seeing like coming out of the area, like OD, cause like in the last five years or so, like I feel like it's been a lot of successful and like mad different people parts, like Montage, another producer from the area that's like doing major things, you know what I'm saying, like fucking Perp Dog. I know he did some things, like some major things, like it's like, yeah, like you feel what I'm saying, like it's like mad dope shit happening and like coming out of the city. And I feel like people now it's starting to get more of a grasp of like just how to move or how to like push they shit. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like even just down to it being more outlets, being more camera niggas. And I just feel like all of that does, it just sharpens everybody tools. Cause now you ain't the only nigga that's doing, now you looking like, oh shit, this nigga got some heat. Let me get over my shit, you feel me? So it create a little friendly competition in a way, like, you know what I'm saying? And niggas could just look at it as that, just friendly competition. Like we all in this shit trying to do the same shit, you know what I'm saying? But like, that shit just make niggas motivated. Like, yo, you see somebody doing good, like, and it just makes it more tangible. Like, I feel like all of the success stories are like different people. Like, it's just making it more tangible for the next niggas coming up to be like, nah, these niggas did that shit and I know these niggas. Like, I went to school with these niggas. Like, these is my friends. Like, these are my peers and niggas is really doing it. So that shit is the beautiful part about this shit. Like, I'm seeing like, that shit is affecting like how niggas is putting out music or just starting to just learn different source, or you know what I'm saying? Like niggas is getting hip to game, bro, and that's a good thing to see, bro, because that's what's gonna build this shit in terms of like what I think is missing from the area. Honestly, is just everybody now taking all of the stuff that or everybody loops, you know what I'm saying, or what everybody just gotta understand, like it's okay for niggas to have separate things, or sometimes people be in the same lane, but like just sometimes niggas just collaborate together, like just bring that shit together more. Like that's it. Like that's the only thing I really feel like is missing from this area, and that's hopefully like something that I wouldn't try to like do with like just certain projects, or like even just bringing certain artists together on a track that niggas won't expect. Like, oh shit, is these niggas on and that shit a banger, like, or at other producers and artists, like just like on some, what's that shit like J. Cole did when he just did the album and just had mad artists, mad, yeah, like shit like that, like, cause that's what niggas do in the town all the time, like mad writing sessions. So like I want like I think that's some shit that's missing from here. Is just like niggas really just tapping in with each other, everybody respecting everybody work, everybody respecting everybody grind, you feel me, and just keep pushing the wheel forward, like, cause that's what's gonna make this shit pop. Like, is us pushing each other, going out to places, getting connects, bringing it back home, utilizing those networks and connections, and showing niggas like, nah, we got heat here. Like, this ain't just the fucking country like niggas try to make it seem like, nigga, like this is the capital, nigga, like for real, like important things happen in Albany that control the whole state. So like real shit, like, so just that part, like I think that should have just boot niggas up OD. Like niggas just start collaborating more and just bringing all the networks and just everybody just being more consistent. And I feel like it'll be like that if niggas just linked up with each other to have more things to consistently do. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and that shit'll go up, bro. Cause it's too much talent here, bro. The world need to see it, and it's time. It's happening.
People like you opening the eyes to this city, cause now it's a lot of labels and
nah, for sure. And the quietest kept, bro. It been A&Rs, and you know though, cause you been kind of mixing just even with the mix that you was in down in the town. Like, you know, it's niggas that be looking in the area, they like sneaky coming, oh, but niggas don't really know that. But then it'll be like niggas will have a loop, but niggas won't try to help everybody else onto the loop. Which I be getting sometimes, because sometimes people might not necessarily be ready or whatever the case is, but now that everybody's kind of getting a packaging and just presentation up and all of that shit, it just makes the world of a difference for a nigga to be like, yo, check this person out, because niggas is moving like how artists, you know what I'm saying, like how niggas really should move. So it's just more professionalism in this shit now. I'm seeing like niggas is really taking their craft more serious, so that shit goes a long way, for real. That ass gotta be in this shit 100 to win. For real.
And just moving forward, who is somebody DOC wants to, like, not a dream feature, but a dream collaboration? Who's like one or two people that you want to be on the DOC beat? Just speaking into existence.
It's Drake. I say that like when I get a Drake vocals on a DO beat, then that's when I'm gonna feel like, yo, nigga, you made it, nigga, like shit, real, like that's one of the goats. You feel me? Like OD, like just somebody I always like follow musically, and like just watching the growth from like even when, because like around that time, like that's when I started like fake like getting into my artist bag and like trying to figure out my sound, and like, and then it's like this nigga perfected the shit that I was thinking like I wanted to do. So like seeing that whole process and like even seeing that opening up the doors for more niggas like that to be able to come out and it be like some shit that niggas is like, oh okay, like that's a vibe, like that's dope. So definitely Drake, definitely like I ain't gonna lie, you know how I've been bumping crazy, like that I wanna fuck with, like I just wanna hear him on a beat, fucking Shawnee Bin Laden, bro.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, like
From the town, right?
yeah, he from the town, but like I fuck with his shit, like it's some different shit, like I fuck with that shit though. Definitely like them drill shits, like I will make some shit for him for sure. Like I like the way he be doing the drill shit. It's like on some different shit.
Dope, man.
Word.
Dope. And just being from upstate, do you see yourself collaborating with somebody from the Griselda camp?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, for sure. Like real rap shit, cause at the end of the day, I feel like that was a big culture up here. Like niggas really was rapping, rap battles, like that shit was, niggas was dedicated to that shit. So like bars is definitely a must. Like niggas gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a given. Like that's a fact.
Right,
Yeah, like you gotta do that. Like that's only right. And for the fact that even them like just being up, like niggas is showing niggas, bro, it's more than New York and just New York City, bro. It's the whole state, my nigga. That niggas is going crazy. So shout out to them too. Facts. That's a fact. Shout out to upstate New York, man.
Doctor of Creativity, man. DOC and that shit.
Yes, sir,
Thank
man.
you for pulling up to the HQ and having this conversation with us.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me, bro. This was definitely a great talk, like
Only right.
for
It's
real.
only right.
Super great talk.
Just let the people know, leading out.
Oh yeah, just the plug. Make sure y'all like my son videos. Make sure y'all share this shit. What else? Make sure y'all go tune into that single.
Yeah, where
Feel me? It's called The Blues. Just dropped that joint like a week ago, so you know what I'm saying? Tap in. Let me know what y'all think about that. I got more shit on the way, and we here, man. Everything DOC on the beat. Yeah, on everything. Facts. So I'm mainly on IG. Yeah, I got BeatStars. You feel me? I got my BeatStars page. I'm about to actually hey, word. I'm about to actually update my page like coming this new year, because I'm more of a person that I like to work with the artist. So like for me to upload beats constantly sometimes, like that should be like I'm always usually in the studio, or like that's how I get like majority of my songs done. But a lot of people do be trying to get beats outside of that. So like I've been recently I want to do like Zoom sessions, like so like, you know what I'm saying, because I know a lot of artists want like more customized shit. So you could Zoom me, I'll be right in the studio, you could see what I'm doing on the screen, you could hear what I'm doing, feel what I'm saying. So try to change with the times a little bit, because it's like I still want to work how I like to work, like what's comfortable to me. Because like uploading mad beats, like that shit just be like, it's cool, I guess though, because I had to learn that part, like because I was always so like keeping my shit unless I'm like we about to record some shit like that, like. But I'm trying to like adapt into that. So like yeah, BeatStars, and then like if you want a custom shit or one-on-one session, Zoom sessions, and that's how I'm doing it. Word, facts.
Yo, good shit, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Good shit now.
RapDillz exclusive.
Yes, sir.
I look slick when you turn the pain into power. This is how I look slick when you turn the pain into power. This is how I look slick when you turn the pain into power. This is how I look slick when you turn the pain into power. This is how it looks when you turn the pain into power. This is how it looks when you turn the pain into power. Look, this is how it looks when you turn the pain into power. And turn all the thunder and the rain into showers. On that chase, mind racing off the sour. The nerveless cowards ain't no claiming what's ours. On a full-time shift.
RapDillz pills and exclusive, come slide.